first question, Danielle.
You've been in a couple of Game 7s before. What is that experience like?
A little more exciting. Obviously, the one and done situation that it is makes it more meaningful. But that's playoffs in general. Every possession, every quarter, every half, and all those things. And so I think our guys have obviously 6 games, 7 games into it now, know what it is, and just stay consistent, not make it bigger than it is for them.
What are the main adjustments that you think you'll see the Warriors make defensively, just given how you guys have shot the ball in the last few games?
I don't think you pick your poisons. They went heavy to take Jaylen out. We'll see if they continue that or shift some focus to Fred or just guard traditionally and try to lock in on everybody else. So we've been doing a good job of taking care of the ball out of the blitz, making plays there, and then obviously offensive rebounding. So limit the double teams could obviously be a strategy. Play bigger to limit us off the offensive glass could be a strategy, but we'll see. We'll be ready for whatever.
Coach, what has impressed you the most about the way Alperen Sengun has played during his first ever playoff series?
Yeah, that he just kept it simple, got back to what he does. He missed some shots early in the series and didn't get deterred by that and continued to be aggressive even in game when he had some rough stretches shooting wise. He impacted the game other ways and then stayed aggressive and came through down the stretch offensively. And so, consistency that he's shown throughout the year and going to different matchups and kind of adjusting on the fly. And so we do move him all over the court, and I think that's the advantage of him. He can take advantage of whoever they put on him in different situations, and he's obviously been very steady even on nights where he hasn't shot at the best.
Go ahead, Jackson.
Steven Adams described the zone defense that you guys have been deploying as weird or bizarre, and Fred went on to say that you guys have experimented with it, and that half the time they don't even know what they're doing out there. How would you describe the zone that's been used in this series and why it's been so effective?
Say the activity, first of all, you have to have that juice and energy behind it. Communication's been really good. We have some principles that we stick to, and then based on who's on the court for them, we can adjust and hand guys off or stay with them, and it becomes more of a matchup boxing winning type zone. And so the initial principles are good, but I think guys' instincts as well, and then when to stay with Curry, when to hand them off to certain guys has been really good. But like I said, the communication, it makes us talk more. And Fred and some guys are really good up top, kind of directing traffic.
With Steven Adams playing his most minutes in a couple of years in the last game, did you realize or think that you would be playing him this many minutes and that he could give you such good minutes entering the playoff series?
Well, toward the end of the year, we understood he wasn't on any kind of restriction anymore. Early in the season, he only could go 5 minute stints, and obviously we didn't play him back-to-backs all year to have him ready for this time of year. But as his increase in minutes, you could see his legs and rhythm and all those things start to come back throughout the year, and we knew at some point he was available for whatever, and the impact he has in short stints early, and then when we wrapped up his minutes was always really good. And once we started playing with the double big lineup more and doing some things to keep him fresh, felt we have no problem making it. And like I said, you could see it in real time, him get his legs, rhythm, and some of that bounce back in the step. And so happy to see what he's doing. Obviously, he's impacting in a huge way, and I think the way he and we went about it this year has prepared him for this time to play an increase in minutes.
Coach, a lot of people go and look at the box score and they see Jaylen's points, and he hasn't been as effective on the offensive end because of what the Warriors are doing. Can you just talk about the things that don't show up in the box score as far as the way he's been playing defense and contributing in other areas?
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy basically making the hockey assist. If they're going to double team him, trust the ball, trust your teammates, get off the ball, and as long as you don't turn it over, Alperen and the guys behind it will make the play. And so you got to be a decoy sometimes, and they're going after him quite heavy, and guys are making the pay. And so he's done his job there. Defensively, staying locked into his matchups. Some guys got loose early, and he took on the challenge with Podzimski and Hield and some of those guys to limit them, as well as switch on Curry and Butler. And so very competitive as far as that. All the things that he's really improved on over the last 2 years, he's sticking to, getting in on rebounds and, communicating, getting back in transition. So all the competitive things that don't show up in the box score, he's been really good at. And the box score is not always going to show it, obviously, if they're trying to take you out of the game. And so everybody else has been a recipient of that, and he's done his job.
The double big lineups with Steven and Alpi and the zone that accompanies that, how important is it to have the length of Jabari to, I guess, mitigate what would normally be holes in that zone?
Yeah, it's good to have the big back line for sure. You know, if we didn't play zone, obviously there'd be some cross matches there that we don't love, and at times Jabari would be chasing around little guys too, and so he benefits from that as well. But the rebounding is a big part of the back line. When guys are shifting and rotating and out of position at times, to have his length back there and rebounding ability has been big. But as our guards have grown up top and kind of spearheaded, I think he's gotten better recognition as well from the wing of when to help up or, you know, who to help off of, and obviously the rebounding is good. So that's the versatility he brings, you know, starting at the 4, but he can downsize or upsize to the 5 or 3 and not drop off much at all. So he's been great.
Ime, for Fred, what has allowed him the last few games to really flourish? And is it as simple as hitting shots, and how much will you be leaning on him?
Yeah, a big part. I mean, he got really good looks in the first 2 games, and a lot of guys didn't shoot it the best. Shot kind of poorly on the shots that they had, and so that was indicative in our low scoring outputs. But yeah, he's made those shots, been very aggressive, but also understanding that they're taking Jaylen out, a little more onus on him to create out of the pick and roll. They're guarding him more traditional, so he has a space to operate there, and as always, he makes the right read. So his aggression's been good. You know, running the show as always, but obviously stands out when you make those shots at the rate he is.
This time of year, we always kind of know who does what on each team. Has it been a tough scout, do you think, for the Warriors, for you guys, because it's kind of different every night? Have you seen that develop?
Different as far as what?
Like who does what on a given night, whether it's maybe Jaylen goes off for 38 or Fred or whatever?
You know, I mean, Alpy and Jaylen have kind of shouldered the scoring load majority of the season, but we've been really good. And I've talked about some of our best games has been the balance of scoring and equal opportunity offense when we have 7, 8 guys in double figures. And so that's been the case in some of these games. You know, Fred leads us one night. Obviously, they're trying to take Jaylen out, so other guys are recipients. And so, you know, we've had the big games with both those guys scoring 30, or we've had really good games where everybody scores in double figures. And I think that makes it, to your point, more difficult to guard and who to key in on. You put Curry or Hield on a certain guy, we can run some sets to take advantage of that, and hide those guys is easy. And so I love the balance. You know, try to do a little bit of everything, get on transition, pick and roll, isolation, post ups, and the fact that we have versatile guys that can do a few of those different things makes us much more dangerous to prepare for.
Ime, you've got so many of your guys going through this for the first time. But have you been impressed that they've seemingly played their best basketball when facing elimination in the series?
Yeah, we'd say they didn't get rattled by that. I think the initial rattle, you know, hit in the playoffs was the first game or so for some guys, and whether it's elimination or not, I think they settled in, and got more comfortable as the series went. And, obviously, desperation games there. We played great, played hard, but really guys really didn't talk about it. We went about our business and understood what we did to lose some of those early games and made adjustments, and they've just carried on as usual. So no nerves, not getting rattled there. And like I said, once you're kind of into 4, 5, 6 of the series, I think you settle down regardless of the situation.
How much more confidence does it give your team knowing that in the 3 games you lost, you were within 3 points, or you had to lead in the fourth quarter, in 3 games you won, y'all won by double digits in each one of those games, or at least led by double digits in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we said that. You know, we played an average at times and been in striking range, and if not a 1-possession game, you know, missed free throws and been right there. And when we play good, we've had really good results and comfortable leads. And even the games we lost, we've had some double-digit leads in as well. So it's a good sign for us if we do the right things, continue to lock in on defense, and you know, sometimes simply is make shots, make free throws. We're in good shape, and so bodes well. Obviously, the fact that we can play in a below average game or average game, but best to be right there because we can rely on other things. But if we play our well-rounded game, we see the results of that as well.
Thanks, Coach.